Okay. All right. We are live in the studio. We have a good signal. All right. I think we're all right. Think it's working. Yes, we are live. And I'm back after being AWOL for a week. Hello, Peter Eng. Sorry, I was a couple minutes, like 5 minutes late starting because at the start time, that's when a lot of people decided they wanted to be noisy in the hallway. So I had to wait for that to die down a little bit so it didn't interfere with our audio. But we are here. Hello, 71 Solo 2 Challenger. You guy. Hi, Kerouac and Chris. Hello, Parky. I have some show and tell. I got some new G.I. Joe stuff to show off. Hello, Brandon Knight. Hi, Sparkster. I can't say it, but hello, Sparkster. I was a bit under the weather last week, so I skipped the live stream. I almost did it anyway, though. I really hate skipping it, but I really just wasn't feeling well. But I'm back now. I'm feeling all right. Hi, Robert and Mike and Beta Ray Bob. Hi, Tony and Gaz. Nice to see you all. I have stuff to show off. We have show and tell this evening, and I'll show you some stuff that I got in just a few minutes. So yeah, not feeling too well last week, but I was feeling well enough on the weekend to drive up to Des Moines, Iowa, and go to Assembly Required. So I saw some folks there. That was fun. I got some video, which you should see soon. Hello, Kevins. Kevin says, greetings from Ireland. Thank you for staying awake, and greetings from the United States. It's rectum chilling cold. That's not offensive because that's a medical term. Hello, Cujo. Nice to see you. Daniel, glad you liked the Overlord review. So, yeah. James White, how do you do? Nice to see everyone. And thanks, Beta Ray Bob. I did need to take some time to rest and take care of myself. I had gotten a cold, and I was feeling kind of puny, but it was just a few days before I needed to drive to Iowa. So, I really needed to recover, which I did. Hey, it's SEO Tour Review. Hello, SEO Tour Review. Nice to see you. Hi, Cyclonus. And yes, it has gotten colder here too. Apparently, the entire world is finally experiencing winter. But I have stuff. I have stuff to show you. First of all, I have this Night Force T-shirt I got here. I got that in Iowa. If you notice that's Tunnel Rat's machine gun. Brandon says, did I get the package? I did get the package, yes. I checked the P.O. box right after I got back into town. So thank you for that. And I meant to post the package and one other package over there. I meant to post that there will be another donation unboxing video for this month. So awesome. Thank you very much. Hey, it's Byron. Nice to see you, Byron. It was 84 there. That's 84 Fahrenheit, I assume. It would have to be, right? But still, I don't know. It's getting close to, if it drops another 20 degrees, it might be almost jacket weather. Yeah. Oh, and Green Yeti is here too. Hello, I didn't see you come in, Green Yeti. assembly required was fun. It was a regional show, and it's been going on for a few years. I believe this was the 9th year, so that's pretty cool. So they have a tradition, and it was a privilege to be there. I got to see some folks that I normally only get to see at Joe Fest or JoeCon. So, yeah, for once I got to see a couple of people, 2 times a year rather than 1 time a year, so that was fun. Let's see, Tony says, I had a crazy idea, small die-cast Joe vehicles like Hot Wheels size. Well, they did the small die-cast, hang on a second. Like the little die-cast Mobat tank. So they did some, and there were others. Hold on. So they did some this size, and this is, a little bigger than a Hot Wheels car, but it's probably close to being in scale with Hot Wheels, because, of course, the tank will be bigger than a car, but, hold on, I gotta look through this catalog and see if they have, because I was going through a bunch of catalogs for a video that I'm working on, and, where is it? Some of these catalogs had some... Sorry, I'm off camera, I know. Some of these catalogs had... I'll bring the microphone with me. Some of these catalogs had some little mini die-cast vehicles, if I can find them. Oh, hey, it's Painted Plastic. Nice to see you, Painted Plastic. Thanks for joining. This is totally not it, is it? Not even close. Hold on, now it's going to bug me. Hold on a second. I really need to reorganize my catalogs. And a bunch of you probably already know what I'm talking about, so it's totally not worth the wait for me to find what I'm looking for. But for those who don't know, let's see. Let's find it and show you. Is that it? Is that one of them? Might be. Yeah, here. These are smaller than Hot Wheels. They're more like Micro Machine size. But, yeah, G.I. Joe micro vehicles. This is in one of the 90s catalogs. So, I mean, it's not unprecedented. There are some die-cast G.I. Joe vehicles. Hello, Sean. And Parkey was the first like of this video. Thank you very much. I wonder who the first thumbs down will be. Because there's always a few of them, right? Rob says, greetings from Florida. Greetings, Florida, from the United States. Thanks for joining us. Once we're sure that the gang is all here, I will show you some stuff that I got recently. Because I did get some things from Assembly Required. Hello, John Carling. Since John Carling is here, and since Brandon Knight is here, and anybody else who has sent me an email recently, I have been struggling to keep up with my messages and my email. I'm sorry about that. One of the issues is work. My job has gotten a little bit hectic, and I'm working a few more hours, and I'm busy. But I'll try to catch up when I can. So I know John and I know Brandon have sent me emails, and I have not had a chance to get back with you. So I'm trying. And I'll, part of the issue is, having been sick recently, I know I got backlogged on my private messages. So sorry about that. Hi, Bad Ape and Kevin. Cujo is sending the Green Machine some good vibes. I think the Green Machine is like the cousin to the Mystery Machine. Okay, SEO Toy Review says, question for Hoodie and other creators, did anyone's videos get labeled as made for kids? None of mine got so labeled today, but, you know, we're very early into this new policy, so we will see. I'll send that question right back at you. Did any of SEO Toy Review's videos get labeled as made for kids? Cause SEO Toy Review does a much wider variety of toy reviews. So some of yours they may like feel like the well, there's the answer. Lots of them, but some of them are made for kids. Okay. All right. Well, so if you can bear with me for a moment, I wanted to talk shop with the other YouTube content creators who happen to be here. Do you consider your channel to be a channel for kids, or do you consider better way to ask the question? Do you consider your channel to be exclusively for adults? Let's put it that way. Do you consider your channel to be exclusively for adults? What do you think? If you have a YouTube channel, please share just what category do you think you should be in? Kerouac, I guess Pixel Dan got hit. I kind of agree with that. I mean, Pixel Dan, he sometimes does some vintage toy reviews, but he does a lot of current stuff. I mean, and some of it is aimed more at the adult collector market, but I'm not sure that his are aimed exclusively at the adult collector market. So Pixel Dan sometimes falls into that gray area a little bit. That gray area, by the way, that I'm trying to make sure I don't fall into. And see, Brown Bat's Toy Box says, mine turned into a kid's channel. Okay. G.I. Gary says kids probably get bored with mine. I assume kids would get bored with mine too. And notwithstanding the fact that, there are some kids who watch the videos. Mine, it has never been kid focused. As SEO Toy Review says, I used to really focus on kids, but I've shifted more toward collectors. The gray area is hard. Yeah, that's the issue. The issue is going to be the gray area. Tony says Toy Galaxy and Retro Blasting are not child aimed. Yeah, I agree with that. The question is going to be, will YouTube think they are child aimed? That's that's the thing that we have to kind of pay attention to. So Retro Blasting got one. I haven't had any yet, and I've been looking. I've been keeping an eye on it, but like my channel is really exclusively on vintage toys, exclusively on toys and characters that would appeal to people more my age. So for mine, I'm very comfortable labeling my channel as not for kids. Hello, Comics with Bueller. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm keeping an eye on your channel as well, Comics with Bueller. Kerouac, Toy Galaxy presents his videos in a very clear way, though, like a small TV show, and his videos are more a Wikipedia history of toy lines. Yeah, that is true. And I mean, something like that would be safe for kids, but it's not necessarily marketed toward kids or made for kids. So part two of my question is, will you mark your channel as for kids or not for kids? Because you got to choose one now. Well, you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to mark your whole channel, but let's start with that question. Will you mark your entire channel as for kids or not for kids? Keeping in mind that you don't have to mark it, you can mark individual videos. But will you mark your whole channel as one or the other? That's my next question. Joe Motion Video says not for kids. The Overlord is taking over YouTube. That's the problem. And here, I did it. I brought Overlord to YouTube, and now he's taking over. It's my fault. Dolberg Toys says probably not for kids. Green Yeti, heck no, I'm not for kids. Armor Magnus, no, definitely not. It's going for adults, even though I only have 2 videos. 2 videos, that's a start, though. That's a start. Toy collecting, or is it called adult collecting? Well, adult, adult toys, that's definitely not for kids. Throttle back to nudity. Bad Ape is not kid friendly. SEO Toy Review says I'm not marking my channel. That is an option. Going forward, I'm not making content aimed at kids, but I can't deny why channel was aimed at kids for a long time. Yeah, and I can understand that for SEO Toy Review. I totally get that. So for channels that are in the gray area, there are some choices to make. Comics with Bueller says my viewers are mainly between the ages of 30 and 60 according to my analytics. That's 95% of my audience. Hope YouTube sees that. See, I don't know exactly what the algorithm is going to look for, but I mean, that's one thing it really ought to consider. If hardly any kids are watching it, then I mean that's a fair indication that whoever's making it is not making it for kids. So I guess for someone like SEO Toy Reviews, SEO Toy Review says 30-year-olds can be kids logged into their parents' account. That's a good point. That's a very good point. In fact, sometimes my kids, at least they used to, use my account to watch their videos, which was annoying, but now they have their own. So the question is going to be, is it intended for kids? Is it made for kids? And if it is, then they're going to consider everyone who watches it to be a child. And they're going to turn off a lot of features. So, help a bit. So Lobotomax was pretty racy material. Yeah, see? Mark says, Hootie Coco, I'm not a kid's channel. And just to clarify, I've never considered my channel to be a kid's channel. I've tried to keep the videos, safe enough that you could watch them with your kids, but I'm not covering anything out that is currently out for children to buy. Nothing that is no cartoons that are currently on TV. This is all 30-year-old stuff. And I approach it in that with that mindset. So that's kind of how I look at it. I'm assuming that the person who's watching it is older. And thank you, Tony. That's a nice lineup to be in. I appreciate that. Kerouac says, "Wasn't the whole thing just to stop kids from being advertised to? What are they gonna buy 30-year-old toys?" Yeah, see that exactly. That's why. I mean, what I do here on this channel does not fit with what YouTube is trying to prevent. And I understand why YouTube is trying to prevent it. First of all, they have to do it. YouTube got busted, right? They totally got busted targeting ads to kids. And then some other channels, some channels that they had or that were running on YouTube got busted for shadow marketing to kids. So, you know, and I don't agree with either of those things. I don't think that that kind of predatory marketing should be aimed at kids. I think that's unethical. So I don't really have a problem with why they're doing it, but I do want to make sure that YouTube understands that I'm not doing that. That's not here. That's not happening here. An 8-year-old isn't going to buy a mountain howitzer from '84. Most of them won't. So, G.I. Gary says, gray area where toys turn into collectibles. They were toys, supposed to be disposable, but the survivors became collectibles because of the fact that they weren't supposed to last. That is, in a nutshell, what vintage toy collecting is. That's it. That's a very succinct way to describe it. Mike Mosner is using lots of exclamation points. Cobra should take over YouTube. Cobra may have already taken over YouTube. Dr. Mindbender version 2 is in charge of the algorithm, and you know he's sick of taking shots. He's sick of getting knocked down, and now he's going to do something about it. MCDJ ACDC. First of all, hello. I don't think I said hello. Yes. Okay. So before we get too far into, YouTube, I have show and tell. First of all, a moment ago I showed this shirt. I got this at Assembly Required in Des Moines, Iowa, over the weekend on Saturday. Now, I believe this shirt, the artwork on this shirt is supposed to glow in the dark. I haven't tested it yet, but I believe that's supposed to be the case. So this is a Night Force shirt with Tunnel Rats machine guns. Really cool. And I'll show you the rest of my Assembly Required haul. It's not a lot. I didn't pick up a lot of things there, and mostly the stuff that I picked up there were things that I needed to fill some holes in the collection, especially 90s vehicles. So I picked up a couple 90s vehicles. So I will show you a couple of them now. Let's see. This is, one second. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. Okay. All right. So here is part one of the Assembly Required haul. I got an Ice Saber. Now I had, and it has parts. Now I had, somebody had sent me an Ice Saber that was incomplete. So whoever sent that, thank you. That was a long time ago, but I appreciate it. This was at a very good price though. And as you may know, the Ice Saber, these blue plastic parts are very fragile, and I was having a hard time finding parts. I was having a really hard time finding intact parts to complete this guy. So I just went ahead and I got this, which should be complete. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Somehow I have got to put these parts on this vehicle without breaking them. And that's a pretty scary proposition. I mean, these are notoriously fragile. One of the most fragile vehicles from the 90s. And I don't know, this may be another Ninja Lightning situation, but I'm going to be very cautious with it. I'll be very careful. But finally, at least, I have the parts to assemble this thing. Sorry, the top flipped open. To assemble this thing, and I'll try to do it without breaking it. So that's part one, and that's 90s vehicle number one. The other thing, the other 90s vehicle is this, the Ice Snake. It is in the box, but the box is open. However, and I'm sorry, I can't follow the live chat while I'm holding stuff in front of the screen, so sorry if I missed somebody's comments. But the box is open, but we have an unassembled vehicle. So, well, there's a chunk of the box right there. But yeah, we have an unassembled vehicle in here. So this will be an assembly video. So there you go. So there's that. That's no. Oh, sorry. That's 90s vehicle number 2, and the box is bilingual. So I'm assuming this is the Canadian release of this vehicle, which is fine with me. For anyone who doesn't know, the Canadian versions of G.I. Joe toys, the packaging, like this, is in both English and French. But the vehicles themselves are exactly the same. The only changes, other than the box, is that any vehicles that had an American flag sticker or a sticker that said United States, they would instead have a Canadian flag, and it would say Canada. But the actual vehicle itself, they were all the same as the American ones. So that, I believe, is the Canadian release of the Ice Snake. So that's 90s vehicle number 2. Eventually, at some point, I'll do an assembly video for that. The other thing that I got... Oh, where is it? The other thing I got, and like I said, I didn't get very much. I was mainly there to see people. Not so much to buy stuff. But I wanted to see people and hang out with people. But for the purposes of just having a loose figure in the collection that I didn't have before, I have the Slaughter's Marauders Footloose. And what's nice about this guy is his thumbs are intact. I mean, this is an unbroken figure. It's in pretty good shape. But as you may or may not know, these Slaughter's Marauders figures are also somewhat notorious for breakage. So this guy was not super expensive, and he was intact. So it doesn't have any of his accessories, but I thought it would not be a bad idea to go ahead and pick that guy up and bolster my Slaughter's Marauders collection. Let's see. SEO Tour Review says, my review of G.I. Joe Street Fighter Sagat was not deemed for kids, but the G.I. Joe Street Fighter Ryu review was deemed... Really? Now that seems a little inconsistent. So how many F-bombs did you drop in the Sagat review that got it flagged as not for kids? Diego, have you tried Toy Ploy's thumb fixing technique yet? I haven't yet, and I've seen it and it's pretty cool, and I'll probably try it at some point. For review purposes, though, I need to make sure I have intact figures and vehicles. Repairing toys is like, it's just part of vintage toy collecting. I think every collector has to do it. It just it's a fact of life. But since I am putting a camera in front of a lot of this stuff, and I'm trying to show people, you know, what it is, what it looks like, what it should have looked like, you know, when it was new. I got to make sure that I have the toys as much as possible intact. I have repaired a few vehicles mainly that I have reviewed, but I've tried to show the repair so you can see where it's repaired. Yeah, I'll as far as thumbs go, I'm trying to get figures that have their thumbs. Trying to anyway. I've compromised on that a couple of times too, but I'm trying to get intact figures. See, remember, popularity of the character shouldn't determine the audience. That is true. But I think somebody else said, Matt said, it is one of the things YouTube will be looking at. That is also true. So if it's a review of something that is right now popular with kids, that could be something that's flagged. And even though it's not in my area, just browsing through toy channels on YouTube, I know there are YouTube channels run by and ostensibly for adults that cover things like My Little Pony. But I think those channels will probably be in trouble. Bad Ape says, still, why isn't there an HCC788 figure yet? There is one. There is one. Hang on. Hold on a second. Actually, there are two of them. Hold on. Here. See, look. Courtesy of Green Yeti, there is an HCC figure. And this is an O-ring. Look, it's like double vision, isn't it? And Eric Amon made a modern figure as well. So yeah. Hey, we're not done with show and tell. Hang on a second. You guys are distracting me. Hang on. We're not done with show and tell. That's everything that I got from Assembly Required, but I got a few other things. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves just for a minute. I do have the modern custom that Eric did for me, but it's at the office, so I don't have it here. Hold on. Okay. Yes. All right. Are you ready to see the next one? This is exciting stuff, isn't it? Yeah, I did a Yoda, didn't I? I got Fort America. This is one that people have been talking about, telling me to get for quite a while. I don't think it's quite all here, but I do have missiles for it. So this is that one that, like, it unfolds. It's a tank that unfolds into like a sort of a fort. I don't want to undo the whole thing, but yeah, so you get the idea. It unfolds into a fort. So yeah, Fort America. It's finally here, sort of. So I believe there are parts missing, so I need to do an inventory of it. Yes, Jedi, I understand, but there's been a clamor. There's been a clamor saying, when are you going to get Fort America? Well, here it is. I got most of it anyway. So, there's that. That's not from Assembly Required, but it is just something that I picked up, and it's got the sound maker, but I got to replace the batteries, so it doesn't make sound right now. Anyway, so Byron apparently said something, but I missed it. Sorry about that. So there's that. There's more. Hang on. Let's see. All right. Well, okay. This is not a toy, but I'm trying to expand my library of printed material for research purposes. Now, this stuff covers like 1995 to 2003, and then 2004 to 2006. So these don't really cover my era, at least the era that I talk about on the show. But I still have sometimes needed information about this this later post-vintage era. So, I picked this up, and of course, it has a bunch of useful photographs of G.I. Joe figures released after the conclusion of the vintage line. So this hopefully will be of some use. Agnetha says, did you meet anybody of your fans at Assembly Required? Yes, I did. I actually met several people. And so hello to everyone that I met there. At least a couple of whom are named Jason. So hello to the Jasons. But also Chris Diagnostic 80 from the Full Force. Got to talk to him a bit. He's a really cool guy. I got to hang out with just some Joe guys, some G.I. Joe folks. So it was a lot of fun. It was fun to hang out with people. SEO Toy Review says, I like those late era O-ring figures. Well, that's what these are about. Now, somewhere I have like the rank and file guidebooks, the ones by James Kavanaugh, and those I believe cover just like the modern era figures. Also, very useful material, even though it covers stuff that's outside of my area. Thank you, James. Thank you. Let's see. Joe Fest, do you sign autographs? I mean, I would sign autographs if anybody wanted me to. At Joe Fest, I will have a lot of artwork if you want to purchase some original artwork. I will also have some code books. You can get a code book for free. And also just, come and hang out. Joe Fest is a really awesome time. It's a lot of fun. And I love seeing everybody. And of course, come by the table, but also stick around after the show, and maybe some of us can get together and hang out. I've got one more thing to show you. Do those cover Valor versus Venom? I don't know is the answer to that. I haven't gone through them very much. But I'll go through them a bit more. So I got one more thing. This is, okay. Have you ever bought something that you knew you probably shouldn't buy? You should have waited. Because you probably should have just got a complete one, and it's probably going to be more expensive to get the parts than if you had just been patient and bought the whole thing all at once. Well, sometimes you just can't help yourself, because sometimes something comes along and you just need it. And that's what happened to me. As you may have noticed, a lot of the stuff that I picked up recently, a bunch of 90s vehicles, those things, I get those things because I need them. I intend to review them. But those aren't things that I get for fun. Those things, for me at least, are not very fun to collect. So every once in a while, I have to get something that I just enjoy. You're supposed to get some enjoyment out of collecting. And so So I was weak, and I bought something that I didn't need to buy right now, but it's something that I wanted. So that would be this thing, which incidentally is my first Night Force vehicle. It has parts. Obviously it's not complete, but we've got we've got some of the parts here, but it is missing quite a bit, as of course you know if you the parts. There are more parts rattling around the inside, but it's the this is the Night Force Night Striker, the Night Force version of the Killer Whale with black. It's like the color's reversed almost. It's got black on top and green underneath. Let's see. Hold on. I left something behind. It does have this little thing that goes on the bottom, and I like the seller tossed in a few things like a couple of 1984 Killer Whale missiles, the white ones, which do not go with this toy, but still. But yes, it'll take quite a while to complete. I should have been patient and just bought one that was complete. But you just have to understand, I've bought almost nothing but 90s vehicles lately, and I just needed something that I like, something to put a smile on my face. So there you go. The Night Force, and the Killer Whale is my favorite vehicle, right? Well, here it is in black. How does it get any better than that? That's lovely. HCC, does your Night Force hovercraft include an action figure? It does not. It is all by itself here. But there you go. That's the stuff that I got recently. I wanted to show that stuff to you. Here it is. Some of the stuff I got at Assembly Required, and some I just got, for myself. So there you go. That's it. That's all I got to show. That's all of show and tell. So yeah, there you go. That's what I've gotten in recently. And right now, at this very moment, what you can't see around me is the desk is quite cluttered. It's cluttered because I've set up to video to record the next review, and this one requires me to spread out a little bit. So I can't show you any of the stuff around me because that would give away what I'm going to review. I guess I could show you this. I mean, I have like a whole bunch of Pocket Patrol packs just sitting around here. So there's that. Yes, I'm surrounded by G.I. Joe stuff at this very moment, but most of it I can't show you. I do still have these. The stuff that I got from the last donation unboxing. Most of it I've put away in a proper place, but there's still a couple things out, like this original artwork from Comic Tropes that he did. That's pretty cool. So that stuff is also surrounding me. Okay, so I've missed a whole bunch of the live chat. So sorry about that. I can't talk and read at the same time. I'm sorry. It's a weakness. So yeah. So that's the stuff we did. Show and tell. Fun times. There we go. And a lot of that stuff will end up in reviews. I have. So it's almost the end of the year, and 2019 I designated as the year of the rarity. We've reviewed a lot of rare stuff this year. Next year, though, we're going to have to look at a lot of 90s stuff. We gotta dive into the 90s. There's just no way around it. I'm going to try to look at some good stuff, and it won't all be 90s. Okay, so not everything 90s. In fact, I have specifically some stuff from the 80s in mind to do next year. But we got to cover a lot of the 90s because there's a lot to cover, and I'm not making a lot of headway on that. So, we got to take our medicine. We got to look at the 90s. Brandon says at least Susan is happy to you have your own room for G.I. Joe. Yeah, I think so. At least my stuff isn't out there. Well, some of the stuff is still out there, but it's compact and on shelves. I don't have like the big cases out there that take up a lot of room. Because I had like cases and I had tables, and it was taking up a lot of space. Now that stuff is in here. MCDJ ACDC says 90s can be cool. Sometimes it can. And I am going to look at some of the cool stuff. But I also got to look at some other things. Mega Marines APC, that's a candidate. That's a candidate for something to be reviewed next year. So yeah, 2020. In 2020, we're gonna party like it's 1993. I think. But I'll try to make it fun. I'll try to make it fun, but not for kids. Not targeted at kids. Fun, but not that much fun. Huh? That's where you have to strike the balance. Fun, but not too much fun. Renegade Biker glass showcases for G.I. Joe and Cobra. That's a great idea. Now, it would be nice to eventually replace these with some better like showcases or just better shelves in general. But the issue is these shelves here I can't just like get rid of or throw away. Like that one there has been in the family for a long time, and so I can't just dump it. So, if I got more shelves or different shelves for these toys, I would then have to figure out where I'm going to put these bookcases and shelves, right? So they got to go somewhere. And what I don't want to do is put them right back out in the living room, which is where I just brought them in from. So, yeah, I got to think about it. David Fitchner, fun but not birthday party fun. See, you got it. That's the balance. Everybody bring out the vodka, grab the best ale and wine and whiskey. Green Yeti, you are far too young to know about such things. Although I did a couple of years ago, I did have a thought. I had an idea for a drunk review, kind of like Drunk History. You ever seen those episodes of Drunk History? It would be like that, but only in toy reviews. I thought that would be fun. Just do a totally drunk review one time. Now, I haven't done it because even though that sounds like a fun idea, I actually think the video would probably be terrible. So, yeah, it would be like a ruined review of whatever it is I'm reviewing, and I probably have to go back and redo it. Renegade Biker says they're 5 foot wide and 2.5 feet tall. So, okay, okay. 5 foot wide. On this wall, I think I would still only be able to like fit one of them there. I'd have to move some stuff around to fit that. But yeah, my issue though is still like I gotta. This isn't just storage for the toys; it's also storage for these beasts that I don't want to get rid of them, and I don't have any place else to put them. Drunk review something you weren't happy with the first time. Try to fix your mistakes while drunk. Now that's a fun idea. Thanks, Obscene Noog. That's an intriguing idea. So if I ruin the review, it'll be something that's already ruined, so it won't be any loss. Say I started the live stream about 5 minutes late, so I'm going to go 5 minutes after 8 o'clock to make up for the lost time. So thanks everyone for hanging out. So that's about 10 minutes. So I'm not going to end the live stream in 5 minutes. I'm going to keep it going for about 10 minutes. A drunk review of the illegitimate offspring of Zorana and Crystal Ball. And that would be one weird-looking kid. I mean, just imagine. So somebody had a good idea, but I didn't see it, so sorry about that. The Swamp Masher. That's it. I'll review the Swamp Masher. But I have more affection for the Swamp Master than apparently people might think that I would. The Swamp Masher has some good qualities to it. It's not the best vehicle by any stretch. And there's a lot that is maybe not so great about it. But there are a few things that I have to say that I think could be positive about the Swamp Masher. But it keeps losing. It keeps losing all the votes. Oh, speaking of which, I need to put up another Patreon poll. I intended to do one this month, but I haven't got around to setting up the poll. So if you're on Patreon, eventually, hopefully very soon, you should have a poll to vote on. I'll work on that. Also, if you're on Patreon, you should still get your early access to the review on Friday, but I'm still working on the review, and so that may come down right to the wire on getting it done for your early access. So if there's any delay in that, I will let you know. And thank you, patrons, for your patronage. HCC keeps the cats out of them. Well, that's important. Plan on putting a vinyl banner on the bottom of a part of glass, showcase G.I. Joe and Cobra and subteams. That's a cool idea. That's actually a really good display idea. And it's really cool to have this space now. It really is. Someday, it would be also cool to have maybe a little more space so that I can have a better, display setup. But right now, I'm just thrilled to have everything in a room here. It really has been convenient. Joe Motion says, Brandon, that's good teaching too, demonstrating the effects of alcohol. You ever see that episode of WKRP in Cincinnati where the police officer is trying to show that you're not supposed to drink and drive, and so he has Venus Flytrap and Johnny Fever, taking shots on the radio and then testing their reaction time. That was a really funny episode. So if you haven't seen that, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. You should look it up. But I'm sorry, it just made me think of that. It's that was a good episode. There's a central joke to that episode, but if you haven't seen it, I won't give it away. Mike says, are you going to have Christmas G.I. Joe review on Arctic G.I. Joe and Cobra toys? I can't give away what we're doing in the future. No spoilers. But the schedule is set for the rest of the year. I can tell you that because of the holidays, I do usually take weeks off around the holidays. So there are at least a couple weeks where there won't be a new review. So that really cuts down on the number of slots that are open between now and the end of the year. But even if I don't do a full review, I should have something for you. I should at least have a short video for you, something for you to watch, even if it's not a full review. SEO Tour Review says, you aren't going to win over the kids with references to old TV shows like that. Man, I'm going to totally fail at my ultimate goal of shadow marketing vintage 30-year-old toys to 5-year-olds. I'm going to lose the 5-year-olds. Winter is coming. Winter is here as far as I'm concerned. It's flipping cold out there now. Notice how I said flipping instead of the other F word. Is everybody ready for Thanksgiving? Getting close. I'm a big. I love the holidays. I love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. I love the whole thing. So I'm really excited about it. And unless you're from Canada, in which case you've already had Thanksgiving, in which case you don't care. But if you're from the good old US of A, Thanksgiving is coming up pretty soon. O-ring WKRP figures. Somebody should do customs. Why hasn't anybody done customs? Has anybody ever done customs of WKRP figures? It should happen. Somebody should do that. Just a picture of Lonnie Anderson and they'll get WKRP in Cincinnati. Yeah, see? It won't appeal to the 5-year-olds, but hey, we could get the 13-year-olds. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, so... Oh, an O-ring Lonnie Anderson. What parts, though, would you use to make an O-ring Lonnie Anderson? You got to think outside the box here because there were O-ring figures before G.I. Joe, right? You have your MASH, you have your Dukes of Hazzard. There were figures even for... There were figures for the Love Boat, but I can't remember if they were O-ring figures or not. But anyway, so you got some parts options. So for next time, be thinking about what parts you will use for your custom Lonnie Anderson action figure. Hot lips. See, there you go. You got, you could try hot lips from MASH as, the base figure and build on that. There you go. So who would you use for Bailey Quarters? No. Who are you going to use for Les Nessman? Les Nessman is, I think, my favorite character from WKRP. So, how you going to swing that? What parts are you going to use for Les? A custom Burt Reynolds. That's awesome. What was Johnny Fever's disco alter ego? Hold on. It was, hold on. Oh, I know that episode, but I'm blanking on what it was. He had all those names like Johnny Sunshine and Johnny Cool, and all those names. But the disco Johnny Fever, I'm blanking on what that... Anyway, well, thanks. You just stumped me. Now I'm going to have to go watch the episode again. Yeah, Herb Tarlick was great. Herb Tarlick was a terrible human being, but a great character and hilarious. So, hey, it's almost... We got about a couple minutes before I shut her down. I did run it a bit past 5 because I wanted to give you guys a full hour. But thank you for... thank you for being here. Thanks for being patient with me while I was sick last week. I'm happy to be back this week. Happy to be back on schedule. Very happy to have seen folks at Assembly Required in Des Moines. And I still have a lot of work to do. Since I was sick, I got a little bit behind on my video recording, like for actual reviews. So the next review I'm still working on. I'm surrounded by this stuff right now, including an inordinate amount of Pocket Patrol packs. So I'm working on it. But it is close to time, so I am going to wind it down. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for participating in the live chat, as always. I appreciate it. I love seeing you guys. I always miss you guys when I'm not able to do the live stream. I really hate missing the live stream. It's one of those things that, if I've had a stressful week, it really boosts my spirits. So I just hate missing it. So I'm really glad that I could do it tonight. I'm really glad everybody showed up for it. So thank you. It is that time, though, so I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to say goodnight, and I will see you all next week. I should have a review for you on Sunday, working on it. And I guess I will see you all later. And I almost forgot, fellow babies. Booger!